Hey guys, I'm Sarah, and my relationship with Jesus is the most important part of my life. So I'm going to share with you just a little bit about my story and some of the ways, or one of the ways that God's really worked in my life, and hopefully it will encourage you a little bit. So growing up, I am super blessed to have been able to grow up in a Christian home with parents and family who really showed me what it meant to have a relationship with God, and I was able to see God working around me in real ways. I accepted Christ into my life at a pretty young age, but it wasn't until probably high school when I really decided to make my faith my own, and that I didn't want it to just be my family's faith, but I wanted it to be my faith. And so coming to college, I joined different campus ministries, crew, and athletes in action, and was able to grow a lot. But I don't think God was always really number one in my life. Growing up, gymnastics was a huge part of my life, and I always wanted to be better at the sport. People would know me as, oh, Sarah, she's the gymnast, and I like that, and I wanted that because I personally felt like I wasn't good enough. And I was a perfectionist. I would always try harder, but I never felt like I was going to measure up. I remember coming to college and first week of practice, I tore a ligament in my elbow and feeling like if I couldn't perform well in the sport, then I was letting everyone down. I tried to perform in other areas of my life where I thought I had to do really well at school, and I tried to get people to like me and have lots of friends. Um, but those things would let me down. And if I got a B on a test or if I had a bad practice, it would just ruin my entire day, because all of my worth and my identity was in my performance and how I did things. Sophomore year, I was super excited to join the leadership team for Athletes in Action and was able to grow my faith in a lot of ways and see God do awesome things on the gymnastics team and on campus. But even in that, I think that I thought somehow that I had to perform. And, if I had enough people come to my Bible study, or if I shared my faith with a lot of people, then maybe God would be happy with me, and it was kind of twisted in a way, because here I am telling people that they didn't have to be good enough and they don't have to work for God to like them. That's why he died for us. But then I'm not really believing that about my own life. And I remember sophomore year, one day, it was the night before a meet, and I was sitting in my dorm room, and I was so stressed out because I had had a really bad week of practice. And I just remember being so nervous because I thought that if I didn't do well at this, everything, it would just be horrible. And I was so stressed out. And I just remember praying and being like, God, I don't want to have to perform anymore for others or for you, and just started praying and feeling God being like, Sarah, you don't have to do anything for me to love you. I love you because I love you. And just in that moment, I felt so much freedom and of feeling like I didn't have to measure up anymore. And I'm not going to say that in that moment everything changed, but I think that God opened my eyes to see things a little bit differently. And I still struggle with performance and trying to be, good enough, but God has changed my mindset and transformed me a lot in that area. And I know for sure that I am loved and forgiven and empowered by God, and nothing that I ever do is going to add or subtract from that truth in my life. And Jesus didn't, die so that I had to measure up or I have to be good enough. He came despite that, and I think that's pretty great. So that's a little bit about my story, but I'd love to talk to you, or if you have questions or want to share more about your story, let me know. Thanks, guys.